Just wait a moment. Oh, okay. So last week, we have discussed about potential, yeah. So the potential defines as in equation 25.3. So this definition coming from the energy theorem, work energy theorem in Newtonian mechanics. Yeah. So we have this form, okay. This minus is a convention, okay. So commonly we use this minus sign as a convention, this delta V, okay. So for example, this is example in the uniform electric field. So uniform mean that the electric field is a constant, okay? If electric field is a constant, okay, so we just, for example, move from A to B, okay? So the potential difference should be minus E times D, where D is the distance, yeah. Okay? But in our case, just a moment. Oh, okay, so this is, for example, a problem. Let us discuss it first for a proton motion in uniform electric field. So electric field, you see that from this picture, from this figure, okay. The electric field is coming outside from positive pole, okay, to the minus pole, okay. So this is parallel with the direction of proton, yeah. Proton is a positive electric charge particle. Okay, so suppose that the proton is released from rest, okay, and it moves in a uniform electric field whose magnitude is 8 times 10 to the 4 volt per meter. Okay. So, the proton undergoes this displacement of a half meter, okay, in the direction of E, okay. So this in picture A to B, okay. The distance is D, for example. Okay. So the question A, find the change in electric potential between points A and B. So this is we use the above formulae. The formula delta V equal to minus E times D, okay? So the electric potential is minus 4 times 10 to the 4 volt, okay? This minus because the final potential is minus, okay? So it should be less from the initial, okay? The initial is positive, but the final potential is negative. So the difference, potential final potential minus initial potential, it should be minus. Okay. So point B, is there any question about this point? If not, let us continue. So find the change in potential energy of proton field system for this displacement. So you just calculate delta U. So delta U is equal to Q0 times delta V. So it should be the Q0 is the charge of a proton. So it should be a unit charge, okay? So it should be minus, okay? Minus 6.4 10 to the 15 joule. Okay. So the negative sign mean the potential energy from the system decrease as proton move, okay? Because the proton moves from the higher potential to lower potential. Okay, that's why it's minus. Okay, find the C, find the speed of the proton after completing the 0.5 meter displacement in the electric field. Okay, so this is because we have a conservative force in this case, so we have also conservation of mechanical energy, okay? So the conservation of mechanical energy equals means that the difference delta E, okay, delta E, this is delta E here. This is delta E equals to delta K, which is the kinetic energy, times delta U, okay, which is the potential energy. So the conservation of mechanical energy means that the difference is 0, okay? So this is only just mathematical manipulation or computation, so it is simple, so you can do it, okay? You're using your calculator, you can find that the proton speed is equals to 2.8 times 10 to the 6 meter per second. Is there any question about this example? Any comment? Any comment? No. Okay. Okay, what about the point charge particle? So we have discussed last week, for example, yeah? Because the electric field of the point particle is like this. Okay. K2 over R squared. So we will get, if at infinity we have electric field, the electric field at the infinity is finished, so we will get this form. So we have this condition, okay? And finally, we will get, this is for P equals K times Q over R. Okay, if at infinity, the potential vanishes. Okay. Okay, let us continue. So if you have many points, for example, many charge here, this is Q1 until Qi, okay, and this is Ri, the distance of P, for example, this is P. Okay, so the sorry. So the it potential, sorry. Potential here, it should be Ka over Qi over R. Okay, if there are many I from 1 to n, so you just sum it, okay? Sum of this potential, the total potential at P is equal to Ka Q1 over R1 plus ... until Qa Qn over Rn. So this formula simplifies to this one, okay? Sigma I from I to from I1 equals 1 to N, capital N. Because we have capital N charge. Okay, this is general formula for discrete case, okay? So in reality, we have a discrete case instead of continuous case, yeah, okay. Is there any question? Any question or comment? No, okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Can you explain again discrete and continuous in this context?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Can you explain again about discrete and continuous in this context?
Okay, discrete mean we have integer, okay? This I here, from 1 to capital N. So we have N electric charge particles. So we have N charge particle. So like this. There are so many. So I from 1 to capital N. So in this case, we just sum of the potential. We just sum the potential from each of particle. So we will get this formula, this in the box, red box here. Okay. This summation can be simplified to like this 25.12. Okay. So we have a sigma here, sigma I from 1 to capital N, QI over RI. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Any comments? No, okay. I hope it is clear for you and for all of you. Okay. So let us continue. So I will upload this video to YouTube. Yeah, you could you could watch it after the lecture. Okay, this is the potential. Okay, what about the energy potential? So it's quite complicated. So for example, if we have two particles, for example, yeah, this Q1 here is a source, the source, this Q1 is source charge or source particle, and this Q2 is a test charge. Okay. So the potential from Q1 to the point where the Q2 lies, okay, let's say this point P, this potential is equal like this. Let me just a moment. Okay, the formula like this. Okay, so because Q2 is a test charge, so it should be the energy, the potential energy U, it should be a test charge, which is Q2 times V, okay? So we will get this formula. Okay, what about, so this is only two charges. What about if we have three charges? So it depends which one you choose your test charge. Okay. So this is, for example, we have 3 charges. Let's say in figure 2510, this one, okay? So you see that the total potential energy for this charge, okay, let's say okay, jadi you have to choose, for example, your test charge, for example, yeah. If we choose, for example, the test charge is Q3, okay. Just in this case, for example, you have Q3 is a test charge. Okay, suppose a test charge. So you will get U here equals to let's say this U1. Yeah. This is Q3 times the potential caused by Q1, for example, and this Q3 V2, okay? This V1 here is equal to Ka Q1 over R1. And V2 is Qa Q2 over R2. Okay? This is for U1. If Q3 is a test charge, okay? In this case, before I erase this statement, is there any question? Sorry, this should be 2, 3. Sorry. V2 is Qa Q2 over R23. Okay, yeah. Oke. Ini kenapa lagi Aliardi Subroto ini kenapa terlempar atau? Oke, silakan kalau Anda mau ke belakang. Is there any question? Question? Any question? No? Is it clear in this case? So this is the first case. The first case. Hello? Is there any question? No. Okay. So let us continue. Okay, what about if the test charge is Q2? Q2 is a test charge. Test charge. Okay, so it should be U2 is Q2 times V2 times Q2 times V3, okay? So, so it should be this V1 here is Ka Q1 over R12, while V3 is Ka Q3 over R23. Okay. Is there any question in this case? Is there any question? No. Okay, no, okay. Let us continue, if not. So the third case, Q1 as a test charge. Test charge. Okay, so should be, let's say U3 is equal Q1 V2 times Q1 V3. Okay, where in this case V2 here is QA, Q2, R12, while V3 is QA, Q3 over R13. Okay, is there any question? I think it's similar for the previous case. Okay. Okay. Is there any question? No. Okay, so finally, for the total system, yeah, Q1, Q3, and Q2 and Q3. So the total potential energy, the total U is equal to U1 plus U2 plus U3. Okay, so because each of these terms, for example, appears 2 times, so we should have divided by 2. Okay, so we will get this result. Is 25.14, this formula. This is the total potential energy. Is there any question? Any question? Ada pertanyaan tidak? Atau yang kurang jelas? Bingung saya kalau nggak ada pertanyaan tuh. Cukup jelas? Okay, please raise your hand. Who's already understand what I'm saying? Please raise your hand who understand what I'm saying. Only one. Okay, only 4. Only 4 understand what I mean. 20 from 40, 23. Okay, above 50%. What about the others? Sleeping or? Fatimah Nadina Jaya. Fatimah Nadina Jaya.
Ya, Pak.
Understand what I have already explained?
Understood, sir.
Understand? Okay, why don't you raise your hand?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Rachel Zaneta. Rachel Zaneta. Rachel. Okay. Go to the toilet. Sanwirya Mulyo.
Iya, Pak.
Understand what I'm saying?
Sorry, sir. I just went back from the toilet.
Okay. Okay, you have to watch this video after the lecture. Daniel
Okay, sir.
Alexander. Daniel Alexander. Daniel, mana Daniel? Apa masih ke toilet? Daniel Alexander. Apa tidur nih anak nih? Daniel Alexander ada nggak? Daniel tidur, saya taruh di waiting room. Jeffrey. Saya lihat nggak Jeffrey? Jeffrey, no respond. Muhammad Zahid Farel.
Hadir, Pak.
Okay. Understand what I'm saying?
Not so much, but I got the big light.
Okay. Raska Alifatin. Raska Alifatin.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Rash. His computer is blue screen, so he's still in the waiting room.
Mana Raska?
On WhatsApp, sir. His laptop got blue screen, so I don't know if he will be it or.
Okay. Mana Raska? Nggak ini. Tidak ada di waiting room. Masih di sini dia. Oh, Zoom saya. Oh, oke. Okay. Muhammad Zahid Farel, Fatin. Muhammad Zahid.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, understand what I'm saying?
I got the big light, but I don't yeah.
Okay then. Okay. So let us continue, yeah. Okay. So this is the total potential energy for 3 charges. Okay. This is only for Okay, this is the example, the potential of 2-point chargers. Okay. So this Q1 is equal to, this mu is micro, yeah, 10 to the minus 6 micro coulomb. Okay, the total potential, total potential at point P. Okay, so this only the sum of this. Sorry. Tadi saya out ini ya. Tadi saya lupa. Okay, so this is the example of the two charger system, yeah, two-point charge particles. Okay, so you just sum of the potential of each potential, yeah, caused by each charge. Okay, so this question A, question B. Find the change of the energy of the system if two charges plus a charge Q3, as the latter, the charge moves from infinity to P. Okay, so both charges in this case have done a work, yeah, from by moving, that they move the third charge from infinity to point P. Okay, so the potential in this case, we have Q3 times Vp. Okay, which is minus 1.89 times 10 to the minus 2 joule. Is there any question in this case? Any question? No. Okay. Let us continue. The third, what if you are walking through this example with a classmate, say, wait a minute, in part B, we ignore the potential energy associated with the pair of the charge Q1 and Q2. How would you respond? So the question B is that, so the difference between the question, let's say this question, what if, and the question B is that the charges Q1 and Q2 have, or they did the work, yeah, for moving the third charge from infinity to point P, okay? So they have work to move the third charge from infinity to point P, okay? So this is the case. But in what if question is that if, what if, yeah? If the third charge is already together like this, okay? It's already together like this. So if they are already together like this, so we should have the total energy potential, the total potential energy, okay? From each charge, yeah? pair of charge, Q1, Q2, Q1, Q3, and Q2, Q3. Okay. Is there any question? So this is the potential function. This is potential energy function. Okay. But here is the difference. The difference of potential energy. Okay. So they are different. They are different. The question B is the difference of potential energy, while the what if question is the potential energy function. Okay, is there any question? Comment? No. Okay, let us move to the next. So this is basically the same as above, okay? So this is A, for example. A is a uniform electric field, okay, where A is a constant, yeah. While B is the electric charge from a positive point charge, and C is a dipole, okay. So you see that this the uniform electric field, yeah, have this area, which this blue area, it means the equipotential surface. This blue one here, equipotent surface. This is also, and this is also. Okay. Okay, I hope that's clear. Is there any question? Okay. Let us continue. So this is the example from a dipole. So dipole means that we have two charges whose the charge is as the opposite sign. Okay, so for example, the left is minus Q and the right particle has a plus Q. Okay. So if we consider the point P where it's in the x-axis, okay, the total potential function, yeah, is Q1 plus Q1 over this is Q1, for example. Sorry. This is Q1. So this is Q1. And this is Q2, for example. Okay, and this is R2 and this is R1. Okay. So we will get that this potential, okay, is equal to like this. So the solution. Okay. Oke. Ya, silakan kalau mau ke toilet, saya bilang. Oke. Calculate V and EX at the point far from the dipole. So if you choose X, yeah, to be large. Sorry. You choose X to be large than A. Okay. That's the far distance solution. Far away from the pole. Okay. So because x is much greater than a, so x squared minus a squared, it should be this. We could approximate by x squared. Okay. So the potential will, the form of the potential will like this. Okay. And this electric field component of x-axis is the minus dv over dx. So we will get this form. Okay. Okay. C. If calculate V and Ex if point P is located anywhere between two charges. Okay. So this is yeah. So this is Q2 and this is Q1. Okay. So anything but between two charges. So the position, yeah, here or here, yeah, anywhere between two charges. So we will get the potential like this. Okay. And if we use the formula here, okay, you will get this result. Okay. Okay. The question, the fourth question, the what if question. What if point P happen to be located to the left of negative charge? So this point P here, I located point P here from the right, on the right side of the positive charge. So if we move point P to the negative charge, we have this similar formula, but we have minus sign here. Yeah, this is minus sign. Yeah. But the formula is the same. But the difference between them only minus sign. Okay, that's for the case of continuous discrete charges. Let us, so before we proceed, so if, for example, for continuous case, yeah, so originally, we have a discrete case, yeah, this V as function of Ri, okay, equals to Ka sigma I 1 to N Qi over Ri. Okay. So if the N is very large or N goes to infinity, okay, this Qi here becomes infinitesimal charge, dq. So this should be equals to Qa integral dqi over R. Okay, as shown in the figure 25.15. Okay. So this continuous charge distribution, yeah, is the approximation of of reality of the discrete case. So in general, in the universe, we have discrete charge. Okay, but if this n is much greater, it's very large, the particle. So we could simplify the discrete case to continuous case. So basically, continuous case is simplification of discrete space, because it is easier to work in continuous space rather than in discrete case for very large particle system. Okay, is there any question? Any question? Sorry. Okay. Okay, so in this case, we have this form 25.20. Okay, so this equation, we have a condition. This equation, we have the condition. What is the condition? If R goes to infinity, then V should be goes to 0. Oops. Yeah. So this is the condition. So the form is 25.20 is for the case where if we take the R to be infinity, then B, the potential, should vanish. Should be finished. Yeah. Okay, that's the condition. Okay, let us. So this is, for example, a ring, yeah, a uniform ring. Oh, so before I continue, I forgot to mention that this dq here, we have three cases. Yeah, we have lambda, charge density per unit length, should be dx, for example, and we have this dx, and we have sigma, charge density per area, unit area, dA here, and also rho, there is a rho. Rho is charge density per unit volume. Okay. So similar, we have what we have discussed, I think in the electric field. Yeah. Lambda sigma rho is charge density. If the density is constant, it means that the charge is distribution uniformly. Okay. The charge is uniformly distributed. Okay. So, okay, so that's most of the case we will discuss about this uniform case, yeah, where lambda, sigma, and rho are constants. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let us continue to the example. Okay. So find the expression of electric potential at a point P, which is perpendicular of the central axis of a uniformly charged ring radius of radius A and the total charge Q. Okay. So basically we have R is equal to R equals to this one. Okay, this is infinitesimal charge. Okay, and this is the the radius A here, which is the source coordinate. Okay. So Q here, dQ here is lambda dx. Okay. So lambda dx, so if we integral, the Q is equal to lambda A, okay, times d theta. Okay, if we draw, this is dq, okay, and dq here, this is a d theta. Okay, so the length of this line, yeah, sorry, this d theta, this line is a d theta. Okay, so this integral should be from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so this should be lambda 2 pi a, which is capital Q, the total charge. So for the uniform ring, the potential at point P, the form should be like this, in the red box. Okay, you see that if X is greater, much greater than A, okay, this should be simplified to KEQ, capital Q over X, okay? So this form here is a point charge, yeah? Particle. Okay. Is there any question for this case? Any question, comment? If not, we will continue. We will continue. Okay, so B, find an expression for the magnitude of electric field at point P. So you just differentiate this potential with respect to X, okay, this minus. So we will get this formula, and you will get the magnitude of the electric potential is like this. Okay. Is there any question? Any question? Okay, the second question, the second example, which is the last example, is a uniform charge disk. Okay, uniformly charged disk with radius A and the surface charge density is sigma. Find the electric potential and the magnitude of electric potential perpendicular the perpendicular central axis of the disk. Okay, so we just use this formula here. This formula dV equals to Ka dq over square root r squared plus x squared. Okay, this r here, from if you see from the figure 2517, Okay, these are here. Let's say this is the infinitesimal ring. Okay, charge ring. This is, sorry. Yeah, this is, let's say, the Q, okay, which is the sigma over 2 pi r, yeah, times dr. Okay. So because the disk have a radius a, okay, so you just integrate, you will get this v here is exactly like this. Okay. Okay. So this one, okay, you will get this 25.23 of the electric potential. Okay, it's the electric potential. So B, if the magnitude of the electric field, you just differentiate it with respect to the x, okay, with minus here in front, the coefficient. So we will get this 25.24. Okay. Is there any question? So you can see that if if you see from 25.23, if x very large, this should be equals to x, okay? So x minus x, so phi goes to 0, okay? So we have the right formula, okay? So we use this formula. Yeah, it is consistent with the condition that as x goes to infinity, this phi goes to 0. Or x very large compared to its radius, then phi goes to 0. Okay, what does it mean? It means that even ring or a disk, if it is from far, far away, if the distance is very large or from far away, they looks like a point, okay? Even if a disk or a ring, yeah, if we see from the far, far, far distance, it looks like a point, okay? So that's mean the physical interpretation of this case. Is there any question? Oke, kalau tidak saya akan simpulkan memakai bahasa Indonesia. Jadi kita tadi membahas tentang potensial listrik, ya, potensial listrik dan hubungannya dengan apa namanya, medan listrik, ya. Jadi potensial listrik ini itu kita dapatkan itu dengan syarat bahwa bentuk V seperti ini, itu kita ambil dengan syarat bahwa R ketika R menuju kok nggak bisa ya? Kenapa ya? Bisa. Sebentar ya. Ini produk aneh ya. Nggak bisa. Jadi syarat apa namanya, bentuk potensial 25.12 itu adalah ketika R-nya menuju tak berhingga, itu V-nya itu menuju 0. Intinya gitu yang mau saya bilang. Jadi kalau R-nya itu menuju tak berhingga, atau plus sampai hingga P-nya itu menuju 0. Jadi cara mengecek apakah hitungan kita konsisten menggunakan rumusan ini, itu cek sel tadi. Gitu. Jadi potensial yang bentuknya seperti ini adalah hingga dia 0. Nah, jadi potensial itu tuh berasal dari usaha yang dilakukan oleh sebuah muatan atau lebih untuk memindahkan muatan tes ya dari tahingga ke suatu titik. Intinya tuh gitu. Jadi misalkan contohnya ini ada yang 25.13 itu adalah energi potensial dari dua buah muatan. Ya, jadi kalau yang ini misalkan adalah muatan sumber, ini muatan sumber, ini muatan uji gitu ya. Jadi energi potensialnya, jadi potensial potensial sumber gitu ya, itu ke Q2 yang muatan uji ini itu adalah potensial itu adalah V sama dengan KE kali Q2 per R12. R12 itu jarak dari muatan 1 ke 2. Gitu. Nah, jadi energi potensialnya ya itu adalah Q1 KE kali Q1 per Q2 per R12. Itu untuk dua buah muatan. Gitu. Nah, bagaimana kalau itu 3 yang seperti ini? Tadi kan sudah saya jelaskan. Jadi pertama Anda misalkan dulu Q3 itu sebagai muatan uji, Q1, Q2-nya itu sebagai muatan sumber, gitu ya. Kemudian Anda misalkan lagi yang kedua muatan Q2-nya itu muatan sumber, muatan uji, Q1 dan Q3-nya muatan sumber. Kemudian Q1 lagi sebagai yang ketiga kasusnya adalah Q1 itu sebagai muatan sumber gitu ya. Maka nanti muatan uji Q1. Jadi semuanya ini bisa masing-masing bisa dianggap semuanya itu adalah muatan uji bergiliran gitu ya. Nah, nanti Anda dapatkan bentuk potensialnya untuk masing-masing tadi itu nanti tinggal dijumlahkan aja. Ya, jadi antara kasus Q3-nya muatan uji ditambah kasus Q2 muatan uji ditambah kasus energi potensial yang Q1-nya muatan uji. Gitu, ya. Jadi Anda jumlahkan dibagi 2 karena ada suku-suku di sini yang muncul 2 kali sehingga itu harus pakai setengah. Gitu. Jadi nanti didapatkan bentuk fungsi potensialnya seperti ini. Di 25.14. Oke. Kemudian jadi ini contoh dua buah muatan ya, Q1 Q2 ya, potensial di titik P-nya akibat dua muatan ini yang jaraknya 4 meter itu adalah ini. Kemudian ketika ada sebuah muatan yang disebut muatan uji, katakanlah Q3, ya, Q1 dan Q2 ini melakukan usaha memindahkan dari jarak yang sangat jauh atau tahingga ke titik P gitu ya. Nah, jadi nanti makanya beda energi potensialnya itu delta itu adalah Q3 kali VP. Ya kurang 0 karena di tahingga kan dia potensialnya 0 gitu. Jadi ini makanya dikurang 0. Jadi Q3 VP kurang 0 gitu. Nah, ini beda potensial. Sedangkan yang di pertanyaan what if di sini itu adalah ketika sistem tersebut itu sudah menjadi 3 muatan gitu ya. Jadi 3 muatan kita pakai rumus yang ini yang 25.14 gitu. Jadi dia sudah jadi 3 sistem muatan. Jadi berbeda antara pertanyaan B dengan pertanyaan what if gitu ya. Kalau what if di sini dia adalah fungsi energi potensial, sedangkan yang di sini adalah beda energi potensial. Itu yang membedakan. Oke. Ada pertanyaan dulu nggak? Saya lanjutkan ya sambil nunggu pertanyaan. Nah, ini contoh-contoh yang disebut namanya. Jadi fungsi potensial itu atau potensial itu ada bentuk-bentuknya atau fungsi medan listrik ya, medan listrik gitu. Jadi ada garis-garis biru yang kita sebut namanya equipotential surface atau permukaan equipotensial. Equi itu maksudnya sama. Jadi potensial yang sama gitu nilainya. Jadi di sepanjang garis ini misalkan untuk E-nya yang konstan itu di sepanjang garis biru ini itu dia permukaan potensial, sedangkan untuk yang muatan titik itu ya memang dia punya simetri bola, jadi dia berbentuk bola permukaan ekipotensialnya. Jadi pada permukaan itu E-nya sama dan potensialnya sama. Jadi ini udah standar penamaan ya, permukaan ekipotensial, gitu. Bukan permukaan medan listrik, kan namanya ekipotensial. Begitu juga untuk yang dipol ya, contohnya tuh yang ini. Jadi dia tidak lagi berupa seperti bola terpusat pada simetri bola. Jadi dia bukan simetri bola untuk dipol. Nah, ini contoh-contohnya, misalkan ini dua buah muatan yang namanya dipol gitu ya. Anda lihat potensialnya di sini, saya misalkan P-nya ini di sebelah kanan, nanti kalau di sebelah kiri itu juga sama ya, tapi dia cuma beda minus. Maaf yang ini ya, minus di sini. Kalau yang ini adalah B-nya itu ketika potensialnya ini sangat jauh gitu ya. Jadi bentuk V-nya jadi seperti ini. Nah, rumus ini saya tadi juga lupa nyebut. Ini kita sebut namanya P, momen dipol ya. Q kali A. Di mana Q kali A itu adalah yang disebut namanya momen dipol. Ya, A itu adalah jarak, maaf ini 2A ya, maaf. 2A, maaf. Jadi P di sini itu adalah biasanya Q kali jarak antara mereka. Misalkan biasanya D. D itu apa di sini? 2A. Itu adalah momen dipol namanya P. Oke. Nah, kemudian untuk muatan kontinu ya, kita udah bahas ya bahwa muatan kontinu itu merupakan aproksimasi dari muatan diskrit, di mana muatan diskritnya itu sangat banyak ya. Dan dia berbentuk mirip benda kontinu gitu ya. Jadi contohnya bola, silinder, kawat dan seterusnya. Jadi dV di sini itu adalah QI KE kali dQ per R. Jadi kalau kita integrasikan langsung V-nya itu kita dapatkan adalah integral dQ per R. Ya. Nah, ada syarat tadi saya katakan bahwa rumus ini itu hanya bisa digunakan ketika R menuju tak berhingga, itu V-nya menuju 0. Jadi nanti ketika Anda menggunakan rumus ini, itu Anda harus... Kenapa ini? Maaf. Jadi Anda harus menggunakan syarat ini, gitu ya. Syarat bahwa nanti Anda coba bahwa R menuju tak berhingga, apakah V-nya itu menuju 0. Jadi selalu pakai syarat itu. Nah ini contohnya ini. Ya, contohnya misalkan ini adalah medan cincin ya, bermuatan ya. Dia tuh uniform gitu ya distribusinya, jadi lambdanya itu konstan. Ya. Kita dapatkan V-nya itu adalah ini. Ya, persamaan 25.21. Nah, kalau Anda ambil X-nya itu menuju sangat besar gitu ya. X-nya itu sangat besar. Ini saya clear dulu. X-nya itu sangat besar. Ya, X-nya sangat besar. Atau jauh lebih besar daripada A, ini akan menjadi QE Q per X kan. Nah, Anda ambil lagi X-nya menuju tak berhingga. Ini pasti 0. Gitu. Jadi ini benar rumusan ini. Gitu ya. Cara ngeliatnya seperti itu. Jadi yang kita ini kan benar atau enggak itu jadi seperti itu ngeceknya. Begitu juga untuk yang ini disk gitu ya. Itu juga sama. Ketika X-nya itu sangat-sangat besar, jauh lebih besar daripada A, V di sini akan menuju 0 kan? Karena ini X kurang X jadi 0 gitu. Oke? Jadi yang rumus yang kita gunakan tuh betul kurang lebih. Oke, sampai sini dulu. Ini yang untuk yang potensial. Kalau untuk yang mencari medan listriknya, Anda tinggal turunkan dV per dx ya. Jangan lupa minus di depan jadi minus dV per dx. Jadi didapatkan 25.24. Jadi kalau untuk yang Untuk yang cincin, itu kita dapatkan seperti ini ya. Anda cek bahwa ini akan menuju 0 juga. Begitu juga untuk yang medan listriknya. Medan listriknya juga kalau Anda ambil X sangat besar menuju A, sangat besar dari A atau X yang menuju tabel hingga, itu akan dia X-nya akan 0. Ini juga sama nih. Sebentar, kalau yang ini juga sama. Kalau X-nya itu menuju tabel hingga, atau X-nya sangat besar, ya, dari A, gitu, E-nya juga akan menuju 0. Intinya gitu. Oke, sampai sini dulu pertanyaan nggak? Ini adalah materi mungkin terakhir ya, besok kita lanjutkan lagi terkait dengan kalau ini contoh lagi kalau Anda mau itu terkait dengan batang uniform. Batang uniform ya Anda bisa lihat sendiri lah ya. Pengerjaannya juga hampir sama. Oke, atau mungkin kita bahas besok kali ya. Seperti itu. Ada pertanyaan nggak? Pertanyaan. Kalau enggak akan saya absen sambil nunggu pertanyaan.